So I actually get a lot of questions about jumping in Frisbee and how to get more out of your jump, and that's because I come from volleyball, so I've got decent jump mechanics, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to break down a couple of these motions in a way that you can add a couple inches onto your jump if you've never actually done this before. And this is kind of mind-blowing for me too, because I didn't start playing volleyball until I was 18. My brother taught me how to swing my arms properly and take an explosive second last step. And that same day I was jumping like 2 to 4 inches higher right away, just with technique. And when we're talking about Frisbee, and with not too many players having great jumping technique, a lot of people just sort of plant under the disc and they just go straight up with or without much of an arm swing. Having that jump technique can actually create a pretty big advantage for you on the field, and hopefully create a situation where you're one of these players who's pulling down more discs just because you have proper jump mechanics. So let's get right into it. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure that when we load up and we're about to go into the air, we're actually using our arms. Your upper body accounts for like 20% of your, I'm just making this up, 20% of your ability to get up into the air. So not using that upper body is gonna be a huge waste. You're gonna be losing vertical distance. So a good way to practice that is to swing your arms, not use your legs very much, but get that sensation of generating upward force with an arm swing. So you can kind of step back, have your hands out like this, bend your knees here, swing your arms and jump as high as you can. And that seems pretty basic. Most people can get that step down, but it's surprising when you start to look for it how few people actually really use their arms to get up into the air. I see more of this. They're running, they get under the disc, and then they just go up. And that's okay, that's fine, but if you're stationary and you use your arms, you're actually floating energy into your body by whipping your arms back, creating a slight bend in your waist, slight bend in your knees, and launching straight up with your arms. So this is kind of the difference, right? Like no arm swing, here's my jump, arm swing. Should be a little bit different. Now, adding to that, there's a step called the penultimate step. And it has nothing to do with ultimate Frisbee. The word penultimate actually means second last. So your second last step is where you can load energy into your legs and create a situation where you're storing elastic power, much like when you snap your fingers. I'm storing elastic power by, sorry, it's windy, by resisting against my thumb, and I'm creating all this speed and power with my finger. There's no way I can do that just with my finger alone. I need to store that energy up. The pistol shrimp in nature does that. It's got a mechanism where it can like load up its claw and shoot out bubbles that are superheated to the same temperature as the surface of the sun. Google it, pistol shrimp, it's a real thing. We can do that with our legs, not quite to the same effect that the shrimp can, but when we load into that second last step, take a big stride into it, we're using the ground. The ground is kind of like the thumb. Our leg is like our snapping finger. We're loading into the ground. There's a bunch of force stored in our tendons and in our muscles. And then when our other foot swings around, it doesn't have to do as much loading. There's a ton of force already loaded in that one leg. We're just touching the ground for a brief moment with the second foot, coupling that with the arm swing and jumping up into the air. And I'll take a video of that slow motion so you can sort of see the mechanics and start to replicate it. And I'll break it down right here. It's you're doing step, arm swing, load, second step, arms come up, drive with your hips, get into the air. Hopefully guys that helps you guys win some more discs in the air with that penultimate step. Start to jump more like a basketball player, jump more like a volleyball player, jump less like a Frisbee player, because most Frisbee players can't jump. And hopefully that creates an advantage for you when you're going up and trying to win more discs. Guys who have already signed up for my long throws training video, I'd love to see how your throws are progressing, your forehands. And for anyone who's interested in throwing longer forehands, head over to frisbeethrows.com. I've got a 12-minute video. It teaches you how to absolutely bomb the disc by scaling up. Perfect technique. You start out like 10 feet apart from your throwing partner. You gradually scale until you're throwing half the length of the field or farther. So I'm hoping that you'll be able to double your distance on your forehand. Again, that's frisbeethrows.com. Check it out. And if this video was helpful for you, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe for more. Thanks.